Friends, family, concerned citizens of the internet, welcome one and all. I've just returned from the most punishing ordeal a modern human can endure, a self-imposed trial if you will. 3 months of travel without a single flight, an experiment in patience, perspective, and perhaps a little bit of madness. No airplanes, no jet engines, no soaring above the clouds in a metal tube, just me, the ground, and a questionable sense of adventure. My own 2 feet became my primary mode of transportation. I grounded myself on purpose. My own personal no-fly zone, a deliberate act of terrestrial exploration. Why? I wanted to see the world without the blur, the dizzying speed that turns landscapes into streaks of color. To experience the in-between places we usually just fly over, the hidden gems, the forgotten corners, the stories etched into the land itself. I traded the miracle of flight, that modern marvel that shrinks continents, for the slow, maddening crawl across the Earth's surface. A journey measured in kilometers, not air miles. My plan? 3 months, multiple countries, 0 flights, a simple premise but a complex undertaking. Buses, trains, strangers' cars, and my own 2 feet. The open road, the iron horse, and the kindness of strangers. Boarding passes became bus tickets from the 80s, faded relics of a bygone era of travel. Airport terminals swapped for chaotic bus stations at dawn. A symphony of honking horns, shouting vendors, and the smell of diesel. It was a statement against the tyranny of speed, a rebellion against the relentless pace of modern life. Or maybe just a cry for help, a desperate attempt to slow down and reconnect with the world around me. So brace yourself for a tale of discomfort, of cramped legroom and questionable suspension, questionable hygiene, the kind that makes you question all your life choices, and existential dread found only on a 17-hour overnight bus, where sleep is a myth and the destination feels like a distant dream. This is how I survived, no, thrived, in a world without air travel. A world where the journey was the destination, and the unexpected was the norm. Where the journey wasn't just part of the destination, it was the whole ridiculous, unexpectedly beautiful point. A tapestry woven from chance encounters and breathtaking vistas. Forget glamorous vacations, this is the anti-vacation, the gritty, unvarnished truth of travel, the story of how I learned to love the ground, to appreciate the small details, the subtle nuances, the things you miss when you're hurtling through the sky, mostly, on some days. When the bus didn't break down, or when I didn't get hopelessly lost. I was a bird that forgot how to bird, clipped my own wings and embraced the earth beneath my feet. And somehow, that was the best part, the unexpected freedom of being grounded. So why did I do it? To see what I'd been missing, to uncover the hidden layers of the world, and to find out if the ground could teach me something the sky never could? A lesson in humility, perhaps? Spoiler. It did, more than I ever could have imagined. Oh, how I yearned for the familiar, albeit questionable, comforts of air travel. I found myself strangely nostalgic for the unique blend of discomfort and inconvenience that only flying can provide. It was a very specific kind of suffering that I had, perhaps foolishly, come to miss. I missed the thrill, or perhaps the anxiety of arriving at the airport 3 hours early, a ritualistic sacrifice to the gods of travel. Just to stand in a line that snakes around itself, a human serpent of weary travelers inching towards the promise of departure. The anticipation was palpable, a mix of excitement and dread. The security screening, where a stranger gets to know you better than your own doctor, probing into the hidden depths of your carry-on and your personal space. Please, confiscate my dignity along with my toothpaste. It's all part of the experience, isn't it? The surrender of personal autonomy in exchange for the privilege of flight. And the seats, those plush, toddler-sized thrones where your knees meet the seat in front of you, a constant reminder of the shrinking personal space in the modern world. I missed elbow wars, that subtle yet fierce competition for armrest dominance, a battle fought with passive-aggressive maneuvers and carefully timed incursions, and the rhythmic kicking from the aspiring soccer star behind me, a percussive symphony of travel-induced annoyance. Instead, I had bus seats with actual legroom. Unsettling. It felt almost decadent. Where was the struggle? The challenge? I missed turbulence, the free roller coaster you can't get off, a thrilling reminder of the forces of nature at play. Instead, my journeys were plagued by the gentle rocking of a train, a soothing rhythm that lulled me into a state of unwanted relaxation, or the predictable bumps of a road. Boring. Where was the element of surprise, the unexpected jolt that kept you on your toes? Where was the near-death experience to make me appreciate being alive? The dramatic safety demonstration, the oxygen masks dropping from the ceiling, and the food? Those tiny bags of pretzels, the thimble-sized coffee, the mystery meat in foil. I missed paying $12 for a bottle of water, a blatant act of highway robbery that somehow felt like a necessary part of the journey. On the ground, I was forced to eat actual food, often fresh, sometimes delicious, and reasonably priced. It was a culinary nightmare. The sheer abundance of palatable options was overwhelming. I longed for a tiny dry biscuit and a plastic cup of ginger ale, the quintessential airplane snack, a symbol of the unique culinary deprivation that is air travel. The romance of air travel was truly lost on me down on the ground. Perhaps it was Stockholm Syndrome, but I genuinely missed the misery. My main ride? The bus, not a luxury coach. The real deal. Every pothole was a personal insult to my spine. The seats had the ghostly imprint of 1,000 travelers. Each trip began with the hiss of air brakes, the squeal of luggage doors, and the driver's argument on the phone. The characters? A genre of humanity all their own, the no-headphones action movie watcher, the fragrant meal enthusiast, the stranger who used me as a pillow. These weren't just passengers, they were my temporary, non-consensual family. Bus schedules, suggestions, not rules. Departure times were philosophical concepts. Delays were a feature, not a bug. I learned to measure time in chapters of a book or roadside goats spotted. Rest stops, oases of questionable sanitation and snacks that defied aging. Bathrooms tested my athleticism and breath-holding. Yet, there was a strange charm to it all. A raw, unfiltered reality you just don't get at an airport. The ground was gritty, but it was real. After bus boot camp, I graduated to trains, the Iron Serpent. Trains are supposed to be romantic, sometimes for 15 minutes they are. Then you notice the toenail-clipping neighbor and the endless graffiti. Navigating foreign train systems is a puzzle. Flickering screens, shifting platforms, ticket machines in alien dialects. I once spent 20 minutes at an ATM, thinking it was a ticket machine. But the space. You can walk, eat, and pour tea while swaying like a drunken sailor. The dining car sandwich tasted like cardboard, but the view was priceless. My favorite ride, an overnight sleeper with 3 strangers sharing bread, cheese, and silent appreciation of the mountains. No deep conversations, just a quiet human connection. Sometimes the best moments happen between stations. Travel is food and ground travel is a culinary gamble. Goodbye overpriced airport food. Hello roadside cuisine roulette. My diet was dictated by whatever was cooking in a giant pot or sold from a basket at a bus station. Triumphs, a mountain village noodle soup so good I considered staying forever. Grilled corn at a crossroads that felt like a religious experience. For every triumph, a learning experience, a meat pie filled with mysterious fruit, an energy drink that was 90% sugar and 10% regret. My stomach became a seasoned warrior. The best part? The interaction. You buy the food, you buy the story. You watch it made, gesture wildly to ask what's in it, and maybe get an extra piece for free. You're not just a customer, you're part of a daily ritual. You connect with people through a shared meal. That's a flavor you can't get at 30,000 feet. Announcing my no-flight plan was met with confusion and concern. You're taking a bus? For how long? Are you okay? My inbox became a collection of baffled messages. My friend Mark, who treats flight delays as tragedies, staged a one-man intervention via text. My mother was convinced I'd developed a fear of flying and offered calming teas and self-help books. No amount of explaining could convince her this was voluntary. To everyone, I was a glitch in the matrix of modern travel. Their confusion only strengthened my resolve. It made me realize how narrow our definition of travel had become. I wasn't just taking a trip, I was conducting a social experiment, and the results were hilarious. Modern travel says, don't get lost. But when your schedule is, get to the next town. Eventually, getting lost becomes an opportunity. I got lost with style. Wrong stops, wrong towns, GPS in tears. My best lost moment, stranded in a village not on my map, next bus, in 24 hours. Panic, then coffee, then a card game with old men who spoke no English. I spent the day playing cards, drinking spoon-melting coffee and laughing through gestures. One man invited me home for dinner. I was treated as a guest, not a lost tourist. These moments, hidden waterfalls, port towns, fishermen mending nets, happened because I got lost. The best things aren't on the itinerary. They're found in detours, mistakes, and chaos. By giving up control, I opened myself to serendipity. Being lost is just another way of finding something you weren't looking for. The universe delivers its best gifts via navigational error, and I learned to welcome them. After weeks of bumpy roads and questionable snacks, a truth dawned on me. The world isn't a series of destinations connected by airports, it's a single unbroken story. By flying, I'd only been reading the chapter summaries. On the ground, I saw cities fade into suburbs, farmland, mountains, landscapes and cultures shifting gradually. Air travel is sensory deprivation: home, airport, plane, hotel. You're a spectator, not an actor. Ground travel forces you on stage, improvising your way through the messy, beautiful in-between. The journey, the destination. Cliché, but true. My 3-month suffocation was rediscovering that power. The goal isn't just to arrive, but to experience the arriving. To see the seams of the world and how beautifully it's stitched together. It's a simple idea, but it changed everything. The magic is in the transitions. And I finally saw them. So, after all those miles covered, all those trains, buses, and boats, what did I learn from my 3 months on the ground? What insights did I glean from this extended period of slow travel and intentional disconnection? The world is both bigger and smaller than I ever imagined. It's vast in its diversity and landscapes, yet surprisingly interconnected. Distances feel incredibly vast when you cross them inch by inch, when you're truly present for every moment of the journey. But despite these distances, people everywhere are fundamentally more alike than different. We share the same hopes, dreams, and fears, regardless of where we call home. Perhaps surprisingly, I learned to truly appreciate boredom. On a 14-hour train journey with no Wi-Fi, boredom isn't a bug to be squashed. It's a feature, an opportunity. In those quiet, uninterrupted moments, you actually have time to think, to reflect on your experiences, to truly notice the quality of the light, and, inevitably, to come up with terrible puns that you'll probably write down in your travel journal. Slow travel, I discovered, is a powerful antidote to the frantic, always-on pace of modern life, a forced but ultimately welcome meditation. Now, I'm not saying I'll never fly again. Sometimes, let's face it, you just need to get somewhere quickly and efficiently. But my fundamental relationship with travel has undeniably changed. It's no longer primarily about collecting passport stamps and racking up countries visited, but about the quality of the moments themselves. It's about choosing to slow down, to deliberately get lost in a new place, to strike up conversations with strangers, to eat something wonderfully weird and unfamiliar, and to consciously trade efficiency and speed for a richer, more immersive experience. Because ultimately, the best souvenirs aren't the trinkets you buy, but the stories you bring home with you. What started as a sarcastic suffocation ironically became my most genuine and rewarding adventure. By willingly giving up the illusion of convenience, I unexpectedly gained a deeper sense of connection to places, to people, and to myself. I've learned that the most rewarding path in life, and in travel, is very rarely the fastest one. It's the slow, winding, often bumpy road, the one with questionable bathrooms at roadside stops, but also with absolutely incredible, unforgettable views. And ultimately, that's what a true adventure is really all about.